Hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint Artist. We're gonna talk about my face. Not your face, my face. I spend a lot of time talking to you guys about your face, but today we're gonna talk about mine. I've got stuff. You know, I'm 42, so there's stuff happening. Things are changing on my face. And for me, things have been changing for a while. And I was always trying the next foundation, trying to get all this stuff covered, my melasma, my scarring, oh, my pores, my under eyes, oh my gosh, get it handled. I kept trying everything. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this Seint Makeup stuff. This seems different, this seems fun. I like playing with makeup, so I bought it. So this is my face, and I love this makeup. I've been using it for 3 years. I've never used a makeup for 3 years. Never. Ever have I ever used a makeup for 3 years. Okay, this is my face, okay? These are some of my extra blushes, and then I always put whatever on my third layer if I need to. But this is my face, and this is what we're gonna talk about. My first layer. Everything I need on my face is right here. Not in a bag, not searching for a pencil, a pen, a bottle, whatever. This is what we're gonna do. Do I need to color correct? Probably not. Let's find out. So I'm going to color correct my face on one side, and I'm not on the other. And that's what we're gonna do. So these are my color correctors. These are my ride or dies. I don't go without. But today, half my face is gonna go without. I'm gonna use my two correcting brushes. This is the Demi spot brush for my under eyes. This is the blend brush, and this is for my face. First things first, we're gonna go into the Demi Y01. I'm using the small end, and I am going to apply this on the inner corner of my eye and then come down the trough. This is where I'm dark, is right up here and then down. I have a little broken capillary, and I'll just pop this on top of it. Fluffy end, no product, blending it out. Blending it out. Okay, there we go. It's corrected, it's brightened, it's a little bit better. Whatever is left on this little end, we're just gonna pop it over here because, straighten out my brows. Okay, blend brush. I'm gonna go into Aspen, and I'm gonna stamp into it, okay? And we are gonna take this redness, this pocky redness. I've got redness right here, and then I also have some acne scarring from when I used to have cystic acne. I'm going to ever so slightly sweep this over the scarring, okay? We are gonna fix the redness, okay? Just on this side. I'm gonna go over my brow. I feel like I get red right here. Over the brow, getting that broken capillary, a little extra work, and sweeping over. I can still see my spots, but they're not red. So they're gonna cover a lot easier than these red spots. All right, I have some melasma spots coming in. They're draping in on this side of my face. I'm gonna go into Suede. Suede. I like using Suede and Aspen because they're dense and they hold where you put them. So when I put my 3D foundation, these guys right here, all foundational coverage, when I put this on, it's going to hold where I put it. The Aspen, the Suede is going to hold and stay, and it's also gonna keep my makeup in place. It's gonna work almost like a primer. It's got stick to it, it's dense. And that's why I like it more than 3D. 3D's creamy, 3D's nice, but 3D moves. So when you're putting your 3D on top of it, it's gonna move. All right, that's it for these two brushes. We're done. That's all the correcting that I need. Next, I'm gonna go into my main highlight, and this is where we're going to be applying our main highlight. I'm using the blush and bronzer on the short end. I only apply it on the bottom. Everything in here is foundational coverage. We're done with the correcting. So I'm gonna go into my main highlight, which right now it is Sandy, and this is what we're gonna do. We are going to put this on the lower part of our face, and I'm going to even out my skin tone. I always bring it up over that scarring, and I stipple, mainly because I've put a corrector on, and I don't wanna move it in any other places. I don't wanna mix it with my color, so I stipple this on. I also have pores, and I wanna camouflage those pores. So stippling that over my pores is going to camouflage them. It's not gonna fill them in, it's not gonna clog them, and it's not going to accentuate them. Are they still gonna be there? Yeah, they're still gonna be there, but they're not going to be accentuated. They're not gonna be made to look worse than they are. So all I've done here is evened out my skin tone, okay? This is my corrected side. I don't need to put it up here, any of that. All right, this side where there's no correcting, I'm gonna need more because I didn't correct. I'm gonna go over my discoloration first, so my melasma and my cheeks and into the crease of my nose, over onto the top because I hadn't corrected that redness. Okay, now I'm gonna come down here on the lower part of my face, and it is a fuller coverage. There is a little more product because it doesn't have that correcting element to it. I'm gonna go right here on the chin, just the lower part, because I'm gonna have brightening right here, and it's all foundational coverage. So we're just putting this on just like that. And this just evens out the skin tone, okay? So it's nice, it's flawless. You can still see some things coming through here, but hopefully the blush I'm purposefully picking, which is Frenchie, is going to help camouflage that. We'll see. But this is just the extra step. It's not gonna look bad. It's just not gonna be comfortable for me. Comfortable for me. Okay, we are going to switch to the detail brush. I like this brush for contouring. It's square, it's wide, it's dense, it's good. It's good. And we're going to go into our contour. I'm using Olive, and I'm gonna sweep this on the sides. I like my forehead to be contoured in a natural way. I don't like my makeup to be super crazy bold. I mean, I live in a small town. Who do I think I am? I like my makeup to look natural. So Olive is a really nice, warm, cool tone. And I'm gonna show you, it looks very warm. Let's grab some of the bronzer. I didn't melt my bronzer because there's just not enough and it would have just burned it. So I'm putting bronzer on, and I'm gonna put it here. This, while Olive is warm, bronzer's warmer. It's amazing how Olive can look warm, but it's actually cool. And this is the best example I can show you. It's so good. All right, we're gonna grab a little bit of brightening here. I use Versailles, and we are gonna pop this in between. I don't have any problematic skin on my forehead, so here I'm just kind of showing how this is all one layer of makeup, but it's also going to merge together to create balance, like a main highlight, like a foundation. It's gonna give you warmth, it's gonna give you contouring, it's gonna give you reflecting light. It's gonna give you everything in 3 colors: contour, bronzer, brightener. Okay, first things first, we're gonna go by color. So I'm gonna go to Olive first, and with a really light touch, I'm just swirling this together across my forehead, okay? We're just gonna bring this together. Really simple, okay? Pull this towards your hairline, because it's not a mask. And then we're going to, I'm gonna empty a little bit of that bronzer because I grabbed too much. We're gonna go into that brightening, and I'm gonna pull this down, and then I'm gonna pull this over my brows. Over my brows, pull it down just a little bit. Then I'm gonna flip it back. We're gonna go into that bronzer here, and we're just gonna blend it out on the sides. I just want my warmth on the outer sides where the sun would hit, and it would create a little bit of a sunny warmth to my skin, okay? We're gonna take this edge right here. We're gonna grab that brightening, and we're gonna pull it out. And do you see how it just creates this really beautiful balance? I have reflecting light, I've got dimension, and I've got warmth, and it's all one layer of makeup. It's just good. This is what makes it better. I have less makeup on than if I use traditional makeup. It's just good. Okay, going back into contour, and we're gonna push this on the side. If you are learning to contour, this is the brush you want. You could use this with any other cream makeups out there. It will blend your creams beautifully. You won't get the same coverage as Seint because they're only 40% pigmentation. Traditional cream sticks have 40% pigmentation. They doubled what's in traditional liquid foundations, which is 18%. Sticks are 40%, but Seint's 80%. So you're still gonna need a little more with those sticks, but this brush is gonna be able to blend all those really beautifully. I love the Seint brushes for creams. I'm hanging this towards the back, and I'm stippling this over. Now, my problematic skin, my mature issues are all in very heavy traffic makeup areas. And so I like to stipple this just to try to mask the colors the best I can. I like to underblend my contour. I keep it above the shadow, below the cheekbone, and I underblend it. Because once I add my bronzer, once I add my blush, it's gonna blend it more. And if I get it all done now, it'll just blend it away. And so I'm just gonna leave it here looking like I've got a dirty spot on my face. That's it. Okay, going into my bronzer, I'm gonna tap this above that contour right here. Now I'm gonna bring it down farther than my contour because I love Bella bronzer as part of my blush. I'm not gonna come to the apples because it's just gonna pull pigmentation through. We're gonna flip it to the big end, and I'm just gonna blend this out and up. And it's okay if you come too high under your eyes because we're gonna do our under eyes last just to help give some definition to our cheeks. But I don't really bring it down into my contour, I just let it meet the contour. All right, let's do our nose. This is the trickiest part for people. Everybody, it's hard because it's the smack middle of your face. So I like using my finger, I put it on both fingers, and then I just rub it down the middle. I do touch my fingers, and it creates this triangle that just makes straight lines, and it helps with, I have a bump right here on my nose, and it just helps. I pull it towards my brows, and then I'm just gonna square off the tip. I'm not gonna brighten yet. I'm gonna take that big end, and I'm just gonna stamp it. I'm gonna blend it down, push this up, blend this down, push it up, square off the tip, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend it all the way across. This has been my new favorite, and I've done it in a lot of tutorials. If you've been watching any of them, this has been my game-changing contour trick. So I just need to fix this. I have a little visitor on the side of my nose that I didn't correct, so you might see it. We're gonna take that small end of the detail brush going into brightening, and I am going to draw a straight line down the middle, hit the tip, and then I'm just gonna fan out just a little bit. And we're gonna, woo, that scared me. Okay, this computer, it just makes so many noises. Okay, we're fanning out that brightening again, and then I'm gonna use my finger, and I'm gonna blend, and I'm gonna tap out this brightening line. And this is what's going to make that beautiful, straight, perfectly contoured nose. How nice is that? It's so, so pretty. Okay, I need a little bit of bronzer. My face is always darker than my neck. Yes, and my chest is always darker than my neck. So what I do is I take the fluffy end of this brush, I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna put a little bit of bronzer on, and I'm gonna put this across my neck. This is going to bridge everything together. I really need just a new bronzer. Sometimes I like to scrape this out and then melt it onto my new tin. It's whatever. And I'm bringing this up and around. It's bridged. It's just a good, if you're wearing a high neck collared, I'd say skip this part so there's no transfer. It's makeup, not magic, so if you think it's not gonna transfer, joke's on you. Okay, I'm gonna go in with some contour on the big end. You can't even see that I have it on there. And I'm gonna go in front of my earlobe, and then I'm gonna come up a bit. And this is just going to structure out my jaw and kind of hide my maturing jowls. So pulling in front of the earlobe is key, and then coming down the jaw, and then just pulling it down, especially right here. And then we're just gonna pull it down. Okay, blush and bronzer brush, short end. I'm gonna go into Frenchie, this color right here. I like this color because I have problematic skin. If you don't want something crazy bold, and you have rosacea or scarring like I do on your cheeks, Frenchie's a really great color because it's not gonna pull through. I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna start up here, and I'm gonna apply some of that peach on both sides. And then I'm gonna bring it down, just like that. And we're just gonna bring this down, bring it down, smile. As you mature, the volume breaks down. And so you wanna smile because that tells you where to go. It tells you where to go. And we're just gonna bring this down just like that. And you can build this up however you want. Take your fluffy brush and just go all over your cheek here and across, just in case you've applied way too much, which I tend to do because I'm so scared, but you can easily camouflage all of the over application by just fluffing this over the top. Okay, small end of the detail brush. We are going into, if you look, you can see the difference between corrected and uncorrected right now. I have correcting under my eyes. It's lightened it, it's brightened it, it's corrected the darkness. This side has not. And you could see the reflecting goodness of correcting under the eye. You can also see I have a nice, flawless, comfortable finish over here. But over here, you can see there's just, it looks, I don't want to say uneven, but it looks blotchy, maybe uneven. You can see things pulling through. This is why I color correct, okay? You can already tell the difference between the sides. This one just looks a bit more flawless. This one you can see things pulling through. It's a difference, and I hate saying this, it's a difference that only I will probably notice. But I'm the only one that matters. Just like when you put your makeup on, what you notice, someone else will not. But you know it's there, and that's what matters. How you feel in your skin, how you feel in your makeup. You're not gonna, it's like wearing a color you don't want to. You're not gonna be comfortable, but everybody else might think you look great, but you're not comfortable. That's makeup. Making yourself comfortable, making yourself feel good. That's why my palette isn't your palette. That's why. And that's why this makeup changed the game for me, because it made me feel good in 8 hours when my makeup still looks good. That's all this is. Okay, small end of the detail brush. Soapbox is moved. We are going to go in on the small end. We're going to tap into my brightening, which is Versailles. I have a little bit on, little bit. Less is more. Under eyes, less is more. We all have texture. We all have troughs. We all have a bit of puffiness. Fine lines, some of us, I don't know, if you do, if you don't, but you want a little bit. So under the trough, and we're gonna push this up. We're gonna push this up into the inner corner. This inner corner is what makes you look alive. This is what's going to make you look like you slept. And you really just wanna focus this inner corner, okay? Grabbing it, we're gonna pull it up right here. When I'm doing this, it's the tips of these bristles. It's not moving any of these bristles down here. It's just right here on the tip. And we're gonna bring this down. I'm gonna tap this onto my orbital bone, and then I'm gonna pull it up to my under eye. And it just gives this beautiful, it's a couple shades lighter than my actual skin tone, which is why it creates this really beautiful reflecting brightness. It's called a brightening for a reason. It's supposed to illuminate and brighten your skin, because you're a human and you should be illuminating. Okay, over here where there's no correcting, I'm gonna bring this up, and then I'm gonna bring this up right here, and I'm gonna tap it onto my orbital bone, and I'm gonna bring it together. Okay? Bringing it together. Push, push, push. Again, this area, the warmth of your skin works with this makeup, and smoothing it out, blending it out with just the lightest feather of touch. It's really amazing when you see how well this stuff works together. I'm just taking this big end. I didn't add anything to it, obviously, and I'm just tapping my brightening into where my blush and the bronzer and all this stuff is. All right, I'm going to grab some contour on the edge, and I'm gonna go right here under my lip, really lightly. Okay, guys? This is ridiculously light, but look at the difference that just made. It just created a shadow under my lip, and it's like a really smoky outer lining without it being an outer lining. I'm gonna take this little end, and I'm just gonna clean up the outer sides to sharpen it up. I'm gonna grab a little bit more, and we're gonna go right above my Cupid's bow, just like that. This is just creating a little bit of a shadow, hit right here and here. I'm gonna tap it out. I like adding a little bit of extra brightness on the peaks above my Cupid's bow, because it's pretty, and that's the only reason. We are going to line our lips. Let's see if I have a brush. I'm gonna use my contour. I'm gonna use my bronzer. I'm gonna line with my bronzer here. Let's grab oh, I have a cleaning tile, right? Yes. Okay, if you have a cleaning tile in your palette, game changer. I'm just gonna line my lips, and I'm making sure there's nothing on that brush. So we're gonna grab some Bella bronzer, and I'm gonna line my lips with it. My Bella bronzer is also gonna be a really beautiful lipstick combo. I'm using the multitasker brush. This is a great eyeliner brush. It's a great lip lining brush. If you like to put all the colors on your face, but you don't want to put makeup on your fingers, this is a good brush for that too. Okay. Lining the bottom again with Bella bronzer, like that. It's a really pretty color. I mean, look at that's a pretty color. Now we're gonna grab Frenchie, the blush, and we're gonna put that on our lips. And we're gonna mix that in with the Bella bronzer, and it creates just this really beautiful lip color. I like the way that Bella and Frenchie work together. It's a really pretty nude combo. Okay. Okay, how pretty that is. That's so pretty. If you feel like you want to punch it up a little bit, grab some more of your Bella bronzer and just add it to the lip just to give it a little more punchy poo. And then you can also add a gloss or whatever. But I really like just a really good neutral lip is where it's at for me. It is a little, I'm gonna grab Suede lip liner and add to it because it needs more color. I say I like it to be nude and then I'm like, it needs more color. Okay, I'm gonna grab my fluffy end of my brush and we're gonna go into my setting powder. I'm tapping off the excess and I'm gonna apply to the outsides of my face and in. This is gonna help with my corrector. This is gonna help with my oily skin. And I always apply to the outside and I work it in. I usually keep my finger right here. It just flattens it out on one side so that you get, I don't know, I like it. I like it like that. So I apply, I tap off, and again, outside, and you work it in. And this just sets everything. If you like a matte finish, this is really great. If you like to bake, if baking's your jam, okay? Baking is where you take a loose setting powder and you press it onto your face and then you let it sit for a little bit. That's the baking, is when you let the loose powder. People really like to do it under the eyes, on the forehead, and you really pack it on like you look like a ghost. And you let it sit and you let the oils and the oils of the makeup or whatever's in the makeup absorb into that setting powder. And then you take a brush and you dust it off after it's sat baking on your face for a little bit. Here's my thing. If you must, if you love it, if it's like your thing, set your makeup lightly first. Go in on the outside and work it in with a good pressed powder. Saints is amazing. If you like baking with like Cody Airspun, Charlotte Tilbury, all those companies that have that loose baking powder, take Saint's well-pressed fine powder, bring it on the outside, pull it in, and then after it's sat there for a little bit, bake. It reduces the texture, as I'm told. I won't do it. I won't do it. Okay, so that's my face. If you want to add, you add at this point if you feel like you don't have enough. But this is why I correct. This side of my face has just a good finish that I'm thrilled with. This is what makes me comfortable. Over here, I can see my stuff. And it's what makes me uncomfortable. Right here, I feel like I can see discoloration because I break out in cold sores when I get really stressed out. And it's the holiday season, or it was, so girlfriend had some stuff. So I have some scarring that I feel like I can see. Again, these are things I'm picking apart for you because that's what happens in my head. This is why I color correct. It makes me not nitpick my face. It makes me look in the mirror and say, hey, you, instead of being like, oh, you, ooh, ooh, ooh. So that's the difference. My under eye is just a skosh brighter. That's it. But it's a difference I notice, and that's what makeup is. Okay, that's it. I wanted to show correcting, not correcting. It makes me happy. And if it makes me happy, that's all that matters. So let's get you a palette that's fit for you. I'm sorry that this was one of my longer tutorials, but I really wanted to show my palette isn't your palette. My face isn't your face. My problems, my stuff isn't all your stuff. We can find what works perfect for you. I will sit and talk and we can back and forth until you think I'm completely annoyed, but I'm not. Because I want you to love your face. I want you to love your makeup. I want you to feel good when you walk out your door. That's it. I need to get off my soapbox today. Oh my gosh, you guys. Have a great day.